Hey, it is me, Maddie Davis, and today's Film Buff Friday review is all the movies and shows I watched during this last month of July. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Every Friday, I post a new Film Buff Friday review where I review movies I have never seen before. So today's video is loaded with content, and if you want to subscribe, I definitely recommend you do so. With all that said, let's jump in. So the first movie on my list is Little Joe, directed by Jessica Hostner and starring Emily Beecham. This movie made it on my list because Emily won Best Actress at the Cannes Film Festival in 2019, and I wanted to see what it was all about. Honestly, this movie is just a dramatic version of Little Shop of Horrors with a little invasion of the body snatchers. I wasn't a fan. I was not. I mean, it's like, I think the plot was the biggest problem of this movie. There were no surprises in it. It was all predictive. The ending had a nice moment, but no, it was like... And then Emily Beecham, I think she did a really wonderful performance, but I think they made her look really ugly. Like, not like character ugly. They just gave her this awful bowl cut and made her lips intentionally chapped, like parched. Maybe it was like a symbolic thing with the plants she cares more about. She's dehydrated, but the plants aren't because she cares more about the plants. I don't know. There were some interesting music choices too. It was, I guess, a good sound design, but I was like, great colors in the movie too, but overall I would not recommend this film. So the next film on this list is Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga. Honestly, this movie's a little bit trash, but it's okay. It's a comedy, it's campy, it's fun, it's Will Ferrell. But I've seen a lot more Will Ferrell movies that I've loved far more than this one. I tried to analyze why this film didn't work. It's a great movie to have on during a party to like refer back to with a red Solo cup, but that's about it. I try to analyze why I don't think this film works in the same, oh my gosh, this is hilarious way. And I think it was because it was built around gags, around Eurovision being the funniest thing in the movie. I didn't know that the Eurovision Song Contest was a real thing, but they had Eurovision stars like sprinkled throughout the movie. So I think that's kind of fun. Demi Lovato's in it, she's funny. But yeah, this one is good for the background of a party. Next on the list is Junebug 2005, starring Amy Adams, Embeth Savitz, and Ben McKenzie. Directed by Phil Morrison, this movie is the movie noted to have been Amy Adams' big breakthrough movie. And that's how this movie ended up on my list, and I do have to say her performance in this stole the entire show. I think it's a character right up her alley, but I can only imagine just watching this for the first time, never hearing of Amy Adams before, but being like, oh shoot, she's gonna be a star, because she killed it. Overall, I really liked this film. It was very intimate. I think it captured small town families really accurately. I was expecting something bigger to happen at the end of the film because there was a lot of foreshadowing and eerie, foreboding moments, but nothing really did happen that was in line with that, but that was okay. I think the fragilities of family and people dynamics were at the core of this movie, and I love movies exploring that. But overall, I'd say if you like Amy Adams, watch this movie. If you don't, it's like an okay movie. Next on my list is Pleasantville. This was my first time watching this movie, and I could go on about it all night. I actually watched it twice this month. But young Reese Witherspoon, oh, what a queen. And then young Tobey Maguire, who is just so wholesome. He warms my heart. He's my Spider-Man. Just in combination with great acting, Joan Allen, Jeff Daniels, this movie has so many good things to say, and it is so surreal, so captivating. Definitely watch this movie if you haven't before, and watch it again if you already have. But I have to say, my favorite scene out of all the movies I watched this month was Reese Witherspoon in the car on Lover's Lane. So next in this review are all the movies that were left unfinished by moi, because you don't have to sit through a 2-hour movie if it is not your cup of tea. First on my list is Silkwood. Okay, I know Meryl Streep, she's amazing, but I didn't finish the movie because I wasn't engaged. Meryl Streep is just doing some great Meryl Streep acting. She's so nuanced and so specific. It's based on a true story. Very heart-wrenching, heavy story. But yeah, I kind of went on my phone during it. I got through an hour and 20 minutes of it, which is pretty good. But yeah, at that point I already knew what was happening and I wasn't like expecting any crazy new turns. Mike Nichols is the director though, and he directed The Graduate as well as many other great films in Hollywood. He's a great guy. Next is $1 Million Baby. I only got 30 minutes into this film before I was like, I cannot do this. I promise I'll give Clint Eastwood another chance, but I don't think I could have sat through that movie in the circumstances I was in. I was just not amused. I was like, I don't need some grumpy Clint Eastwood in my face right now. I will give it another chance, I promise. Hilary Swank, I'm coming for you. I just was not engaged this time round. So next on my list is Mulholland Drive, David Lynch. This was my first David Lynch experience, and I have to say I was not prepared. I probably should have started off with Twin Peaks or Blue Velvet because I've heard better things about those, but I honestly was so hyped to watch this movie and was so disappointed and confused. I got about an hour in and was just fried and so like, this is bad. So I closed my laptop and I pulled out a synopsis of the film and looked up what the ending was and looked up an analysis of it, and I felt better after those things. And I think if I gave it another chance, I could appreciate more of what was going on, or if I was in a film class, I could appreciate and analyze with a more open heart. But yeah, it was just like a soap opera and a TV show trying to be a movie. And like the directing aesthetic was cool, but like also it was just bad in my eyes. So yeah, I stopped after an hour. If you are a big David Lynch fan, I am so sorry. Comment below what your thoughts are on his films. I'm just not there yet. That's okay. So last on the unfinished list is Jackie, 2016, starring Natalie Portman. It is a very beautiful portrayal of Jackie Kennedy, and it was very moving, very touching. I just realized though that I consistently can't empathize with Natalie Portman's characters as much as I'd like to. I very much admire her intensity and emotional range that I see show up in every role she plays. I just feel like she's playing the same notes sometimes. I think her dialect work in this film is quite exquisite. But yeah, I had about 20 minutes left of the film and I just kind of zoned out. And that should never happen, you know? I should be so enthralled at that point in the movie. I just wasn't. So lastly, of what I watched this month, I have some reality TV. I definitely have been relying way too much on reality TV to make me feel better during quarantine. That's okay. Lots of America's Next Top Model was watched in this last month. Seasons 1 through 3, 5 and 6, and 12 and 13. I love this show with a burning passion, so hell yeah. And then I watched a lot of Survivor. I don't know which seasons exactly, but I am prepping to watch season 40, which is all the winners playing against each other. It's a very mentally stimulating show, so I definitely recommend it as well. And with that, that sums up what I watched this month in July. I had so much fun making this video and watching all these things, finished, unfinished, real, not real, you know, reality TV versus movies, because reality TV is obviously real. But let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on some of the things I talked about, if you're going to add anything to your list. My list of movies is just getting bigger and bigger every single day, and I am so excited. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you next week on next week's Film Buff Friday review. Bye!